The heavens are trembling, and your name is echoing through the courts of divine justice. This is not a dream, not a coincidence, not even a fleeting thought. This is a decree from the Almighty. You, the chosen one, are being summoned into a moment that cannot be delayed. Archangel Michael has been dispatched, not in silence, not in calm, but with fire in his wings and a sword drawn in his hand. He moves with urgency because the season of hiding is over. For years you may have felt unseen, overlooked, or even abandoned, but heaven has been watching. Your name has been written into the eternal ledger, and now the seal is broken. What was held back is being released. What was delayed is being accelerated, and what seemed forgotten is about to be fulfilled. You are standing at the threshold of abundance, about to encounter wealth and provision in ways you never imagined, not as mere gain, but as confirmation of divine favor. Chosen one, hear this. You are not forgotten. You are not cast aside. You have been carried in the heart of God through every moment of silence, every tear shed in the night, every cry that seemed unanswered. The Lord says your time has come, and heaven itself bears witness to your calling. It is urgent, it is divine, it is unshakable, as C.S. Lewis reminds us in The Problem of Pain. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Your pain was not wasted. It became the very cry that shook heaven's throne room and set this moment into motion. So stand firm now. This is the hour of your unveiling. Your name has been shouted across eternity, and the angels themselves have been stirred to act on your behalf. The question is not whether you are chosen. The question is whether you will rise to believe it. The trumpet is sounding. The decree has gone forth, and all of creation is leaning in to see what God will do through you. If this word resonates with your spirit, share in the comments below what part of this message spoke most deeply to you today. The mystery has entered the realm of the visible, and now the signs cannot be hidden any longer. Chosen one, a deposit has been made in your account, and it is not an ordinary transaction. It is a check of such magnitude that it disturbed the normal order of men's systems. At precisely 3:02 a.m., while most of the world slept, the servers of the bank sounded an alarm, and a red flag was raised in their system. This is no coincidence. The exact hour, the exact minute, the exact moment was written into the timeline of heaven so that earthly eyes would be drawn to you. A bank executive has been commanded to investigate, yet do not fear. He is not sent to harm you, but to bear witness to what heaven has already decreed. He thinks he is investigating numbers and records, but in truth he is stepping into the evidence of prophecy. He is unknowingly becoming a vessel through which God reveals the extraordinary hand of his providence. The check itself is clothed in mystery. There is no message written, no note of explanation, no signature of human recognition. Instead, only one detail was left behind: your date of birth. Heaven uses what the world calls small and insignificant to establish what is eternal. That single line is not empty. It is the seal of divine legality, proof that the inheritance belongs to you and to you alone. What is unfolding is not about numbers on a ledger, but about destiny. It is about a covenant written before the foundation of the world. The money is not simply provision. It is a sign, a trumpet blast declaring that restoration has begun. It is not only wealth you are stepping into, it is justice. It is recompense. It is vindication. The Lord has decreed, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. What was stolen, what was delayed, what was buried in silence is now being resurrected before your very eyes. Understand this. The banker who reads your files will see patterns he cannot explain. He will find delays that made no sense, reversals that had no natural cause, and sudden approvals that defied ordinary timing. These were not glitches, these were not errors. These were fingerprints of heaven, encoded into earthly systems to preserve your blessing until the appointed hour. Even the investigation itself has been ordained. It is not for your shame, but for your elevation. The systems of men will be forced to acknowledge what God has already signed in his own hand. They will come to the end of their explanations, and where their logic fails, the evidence of divine favor will stand. Chosen one, let this truth sink deeply into your spirit. You are standing at the threshold of great abundance. This check is not the fullness, but it is the first wave. It is the divine receipt, the signal that the heavens have opened over your life. The remainder will not come all at once, for the Lord knows your frame. He knows you must grow into the weight of this inheritance. So it will come in waves, in layers, in stages, so that you may learn to guard it, to steward it, and to walk in it with wisdom. You are not merely being enriched, you are being entrusted. You are not only inheriting wealth, you are inheriting responsibility. And because of that, the enemy trembles, for he cannot stop what God has set in motion. The decree has gone forth, and it will not return void. The check that has been deposited into your account is not just money, and it is not a mere financial transaction. Chosen one, you must understand this with the eyes of the Spirit. It is a divine receipt, a visible token of an invisible war that has already been fought and already been won. What you see in numbers is only the shadow of what has taken place in the heavens. The check is heaven's way of saying, the battle is over, and victory belongs to you. Every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered in silence, every act of faith when you had nothing left to give, these were not forgotten. They were stored up before the throne, and now the deposit stands as tangible evidence that heaven has remembered. The amount you now see is only the beginning, the first wave of what has been decreed over your life. It is not the fullness, it is the signal. Heaven has chosen not to release everything at once, for the weight of your inheritance is greater than your present strength. If it came all at once, it would overwhelm you, collapse your system, and even put your peace at risk. But in wisdom, God is sending it in stages. Just as Israel received the promised land, little by little, so that they would not be devoured by wild beasts before they could take root, so also will you receive your inheritance in waves. Little by little I will drive them out before you, until you have increased enough to take possession of the land. Exodus 23:30. The check is the first installment, a down payment of a promise that stretches far beyond what you can presently see. Do not measure this blessing by earthly standards alone, for while the world sees currency, heaven sees covenant. The memo line marked with your birth date is not just a detail, it is divine legality. It says that your very life, the day God first brought you into the earth, is the seal of ownership on this transfer. No one can claim it. No counterfeit can override it. No forgery can touch it. What was once intercepted and hidden is now brought into the light, and the record in heaven has been aligned with the record on earth. This is why the enemy is enraged, but it is also why the angels are rejoicing. The ledger of man has caught up with the ledger of God. Chosen one, this check is a trumpet blast. It is heaven's announcement that the season of loss has ended and the season of restoration has begun. It is a banner raised over you, declaring to the seen and the unseen world alike that you are the recipient of generational blessing. Do not treat it lightly. Do not see it as mere fortune or chance. See it for what it truly is, a receipt of redemption, a certificate of inheritance, a sign that God's word does not fail. For it is written, "The blessing of the Lord makes rich, and he adds no sorrow with it." Proverbs 10:22. What you are now stepping into is not temporary gain, but eternal testimony. The chosen one is no longer hidden, and the evidence cannot be erased. This check is not just paper, it is prophecy in print. It is not just money, it is mercy manifested. It is not just wealth, it is witness. And as surely as the ink of man fades, the signature of heaven endures. This is your divine receipt, and it cannot be revoked. The Lord declares that what has been deposited into your account is not only provision but vindication. Chosen one, heaven is not merely transferring resources, heaven is enacting justice. For too long, The enemy has robbed you of what was rightfully yours. For too long, voices of opposition sought to erase your name, to bury your inheritance, to forge documents, and claim what God ordained for you. But now the gavel has struck in the courts of heaven, and the verdict is final. Restoration has begun. This check is not just currency, it is the visible judgment of God against the powers that tried to steal your destiny. It is the evidence that the tables have turned, that what was meant for your harm is now working for your good. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. Chosen one, know this. The one who signed your name did so at great cost. They wrestled against darkness, against family curses, against shame and public pressure, yet still they honored your identity. They became an instrument of divine reversal. Heaven shielded you from seeing it too soon, for if you had known, you might have tried to grasp it prematurely, or the enemy might have found a way to destroy it. But in perfect timing, God unveiled what was hidden, ensuring that nothing could interfere. The deposit is not the fullness, it is the first measure of recompense. The Lord has decreed that more is on its way, for justice is never partial with him. He restores fully, completely, abundantly, until the testimony of his faithfulness cannot be denied. What was stolen in silence is now being proclaimed openly. The documents that were forged against you are void. The names of those who tried to intercept your blessing have been erased from the record. The one who schemed to reroute your inheritance has been exposed, and their power has been stripped away. This is why the check carries weight beyond money. It is a legal verdict in the spirit realm now manifesting in the natural. It says that the charges against you have been dismissed, that the slander spoken over your name has been silenced, and that the blessing is no longer delayed. The enemy may rage, but he cannot reverse what heaven has sealed. This is restoration in its purest form. It is not only repayment for what was lost, it is repayment with interest. Just as the Lord promised through the prophet Joel, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:25. So now he is proving himself faithful in your life. Every season of emptiness, every door that was shut, every opportunity that was stolen, heaven has counted them all, and heaven is now repaying. The deposit is the first trumpet of recompense, and the waves that follow will testify of the God who restores more than was taken. Chosen one, lift your head. Do not look back at what was lost, for the judge of all the earth has rendered a new verdict. Your name is cleared, your inheritance is secured, and your destiny is unfolding. What was once shame will become testimony. What was once pain will become power. What was once stolen will return multiplied. Justice has been served, and restoration is your portion. Chosen one, as heaven releases blessing, the enemy stirs to resist it. You must not be naive. Your breakthrough is also the moment of greatest testing. The Lord has ordered a season of exposure, and in the next 72 hours, the signs will be undeniable. There will be movement around you. Sudden calls, sudden visits, sudden offers of help. But do not be quick to trust, for not every hand that reaches toward you is clean. Some are reaching not for your soul, but for the miracle you now carry. This is why the Spirit warns, Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. What seems like support may, in truth, be disguised envy, and what looks like friendship may conceal hidden agendas. The Lord shows you three faces in particular, people close enough to hear your news. They will act surprised, they will smile, they will even speak words of blessing, but their spirit will resist what God is doing in you. Watch carefully, for you will see it in their eyes, in their tone, in the timing of their words. You do not need to confront them, for heaven will expose them. Simply be still, guard your heart, and allow the Lord to sift your circle. For when the fire of blessing comes, it reveals not only gold, but also the dross that clings to it. There is also one who once forged your name, hoping to reroute your inheritance. She believed deception could hide her greed, but her schemes have been overturned by the angels of the Lord. Her documents are void, her claim erased. Yet understand, the enemy does not surrender easily. He will attempt to return through whispers of fear, through confusion, through sudden doubts. You must not yield to panic. The same God who released the blessing will also preserve it. The same God who exposed the fraud will guard the truth. Remember what is written, the Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and protect you from the evil one. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Chosen one, you will also notice shifts in your relationships. Two individuals will suddenly distance themselves, vanishing from your circle without clear reason. Do not chase after them. Their departure is divine. God removes what cannot be trusted before he multiplies what must be preserved. Others will suddenly draw close, pretending concern, pretending loyalty. Do not be deceived. The Spirit of the Lord will give you discernment, and he will reveal motives before harm can touch you. The coming days will test not your strength, but your discernment. The question is not whether you can carry the blessing, but whether you can protect it. Do not let fear dominate, and do not let loneliness sway your decisions. Heaven surrounds you with protection. Archangel Michael has not drawn his sword for nothing. He stands as a shield around you. But you must walk with wisdom, guarding what has been entrusted, and refusing to cast your pearls before swine. This is not the time to explain yourself, not the time to justify, not the time to boast. This is the time to move quietly, to pray deeply, and to listen for the whisper of the Spirit. For the trial of these days is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to separate you from every counterfeit attachment, so that when the fullness comes, only those appointed by God will stand beside you. Chosen one, be sober, be vigilant, and above all, be still. The blessing is secure, but so must your heart be. These warnings are not to frighten you, but to prepare you. When the dust settles, the faithful will remain, the false will be revealed, and you will stand in the strength of the Lord, unshaken. Chosen one, do not fear the shaking around you, for the armies of heaven have already surrounded your life. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword not to intimidate you, but to protect the inheritance that has been released. Even now, angels are stationed over your steps. They guard the places you walk, the words you speak, and even the unseen pathways of your digital trail. Every login you attempt, every email you open, every trace of your identity is being sealed with divine encryption. This is not the work of men, but of heaven's command. The Lord has assigned Michael to stand as your shield, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. As it is written, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 90, 1-11. The bank systems that flagged your name think they are acting by their own protocols, yet heaven is the one pulling the levers. Human eyes are reviewing your history, but angelic hands are guiding what is seen and what is concealed. Even the executive who investigates does not realize that he has been drafted into the will of God. He believes he is chasing a red flag, but in truth he is walking through a corridor of divine fingerprints, seeing only what the Lord allows. Nothing will be uncovered that can harm you. Instead, every detail will confirm that unseen protection has always been with you. Understand this: the one who deposited the check has been under surveillance by forces of darkness. They risked much to obey the heavenly command. But the risk was not in vain, for heaven's armies surrounded them as they completed their assignment. They may disappear from your life, for their role was to deliver the key, not to remain as a companion. They were a courier sent by God, and when their task was done, the angels took charge of protecting the seed that was planted. Chosen one, you must know that heaven is not only restoring your resources, but also fortifying your identity. The adversary has long sought to distort your name, to discredit your worth, to steal your testimony. But the angels are now fighting in the unseen courtroom, erasing every false charge and sealing every true decree. When you step forward, you are stepping under the canopy of divine authority. Though the enemy whispers fear and confusion, you will stand unmoved, For the shield around you is not fragile, it is eternal. Michael does not stand alone. He commands battalions of warrior angels positioned at the borders of your destiny. They are standing at the gates of opportunity, at the thresholds of relationships, and at the edges of every blessing assigned to you. When the enemy attempts to trespass, he will find walls of fire. When the thief attempts to steal, he will be blinded by light. You may not see these angels with your natural eyes, but you will see the evidence, the attacks that fail, the traps that collapse, the plans of darkness that scatter before they can touch you. This intervention is not temporary, it is continuous. Heaven has made a covenant of protection over your steps. The deposit in your account triggered not only earthly investigation, but heavenly defense. It signaled a shift in the spiritual realm, releasing more protection than you have ever known. As the psalmist declared, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." Psalm 34-7. That encampment is now around you, chosen one. You are not alone. You are not unguarded. You are not vulnerable. You are covered on every side, and your destiny is sealed under the watch of heaven's army. Chosen one, you must understand that what has been released into your life is not simply for your comfort or convenience. The blessing you are stepping into is a divine assignment. This wealth is not a random gift, nor is it mere compensation, it is an entrustment. Heaven is testing and proving you, not to see if you are worthy, for the blood of Christ has already declared you redeemed, but to see if you will steward what has been placed in your hands. You are not only receiving money, you are receiving mandate. This is why the Lord has prepared you through years of silence, through nights of prayer, through trials that stripped you of pride and taught you endurance. For the mantle you now carry requires humility, wisdom, and obedience. As it is written, "To whom much is given, much will be required." Luke 12:48. Do not measure this entrustment only by its earthly form. What heaven has placed upon you is not just wealth, it is influence, authority, and responsibility. You are being positioned to fund visions that align with the kingdom of God. You are being chosen to unlock doors for others, to provide where there has been lack, to heal wounds that money alone could never touch. This is why the transfer was hidden until now, for had it come earlier, you might have wasted it on survival or squandered it on vanity. But now you are seasoned, tested, and refined, ready to use what is given not merely for yourself but for the generations that will follow you. Chosen one, this inheritance carries a weight far greater than currency. It is the testimony of restoration, the evidence of covenant, and the empowerment for impact. The check that appeared is not just a symbol of your breakthrough, it is the key to your destiny. With it, you are called to establish works that glorify God, to lift up the poor, to strengthen the broken, to fund the visions of others whose prayers have reached heaven, but whose hands lacked the resources. The wealth you now step into is not for boasting, but for blessing. It is not for building your name, but for magnifying His name. Understand this clearly. The enemy will always seek to twist provision into pride, but you must guard your heart. Remember always that you are a steward, not an owner. What flows into your life is meant to flow through your life. The blessing is not a destination, it is a river. If you allow it to stagnate in selfishness, it will lose its purpose. But if you allow it to flow into the purposes of God, it will multiply beyond what you can imagine. For it is written, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." 2 Corinthians 9-8. Chosen one, the mandate has been placed on your shoulders. This entrustment is your proving ground. Guard it, protect it, and above all, direct it toward the assignments heaven reveals. You are not merely blessed to survive, you are blessed to be a blessing. You are not merely chosen to receive, you are chosen to release. And as you walk in this stewardship, more will be added. For the Lord will never withhold from a faithful vessel. This is your purpose, your mandate, and your ultimate calling. To transform wealth into witness, provision into prophecy, and resources into restoration for many. Chosen one, heaven is merciful. in that it never releases a word without also giving signs to confirm it. The check that has entered your account was the first trumpet, but it is not the only witness. In the days ahead, you will see confirmations that carry heaven's fingerprint, signs so precise they will erase every doubt. The Lord will not allow you to walk blindly, for this blessing carries a weight that requires assurance. Be attentive, for the Spirit will whisper and the signs will unfold. You will see numbers, places, even conversations that align too perfectly to be coincidence. These are not random moments, they are the markings of divine order. This will be a sign to you, says the Lord in Isaiah 7:14, and the same God who gave a sign of his Son's birth is the one who now gives signs of your inheritance. One of these signs will come through a number, a code that appears in a message, a call, or a record. When you see it, you will know that heaven has opened the vault. Another sign will come in dreams. You will walk through hallways, see doors, and notice lights flickering. These are not meaningless images. They are symbols in the spirit, a language of heaven written into your subconscious, guiding you toward understanding. Write them down, for memory is the vessel of revelation. What you dream will later confirm what you see in reality. These dreams will be the proof that your steps are being ordered and that no move you make is accidental. At the same time, you will notice relationships shifting. Some who once surrounded you will disappear without explanation. Do not grieve their absence. Their removal is a sign that heaven is cleansing your circle. Others will suddenly approach you, speaking as though they have been sent to help. Do not rush into trust. Test the spirits. The Spirit of God will reveal motives, and you will know who is truly sent and who is only reaching for the blessing. This discernment is itself a sign, proof that heaven is sharpening your eyes to see beyond appearances. Chosen one. Signs will also appear in the reactions of those around you. 3 people in particular will pretend to rejoice at your good news, but their spirit will resist it. The Lord will show you their hearts, not so that you may confront them, but so that you may recognize the truth. Their eyes, their tone, their timing, these will betray their hidden resistance. This too is a sign, for it will teach you not to lean on the applause of men, but to stand firm in the approval of God. If God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. Your confidence cannot rest in people's reactions. It must rest in heaven's decree. All these signs are not meant to overwhelm you, but to anchor your faith. They will remind you that you are not walking in imagination, but in manifestation. They will prove that the inheritance is not a theory, but a reality unfolding before your eyes. They will strengthen your resolve when doubt whispers, and they will steady your heart when fear attempts to rise. The question is not whether the signs will appear, they will. The question is whether you will recognize them, treasure them, and let them fortify your confidence. So, chosen one, be alert, be steady, and above all, be faithful. The signs are heaven's way of saying, you are on the right path. Keep walking. Let them draw you deeper into trust, not into distraction. Let them remind you that what began with a check is not ending with a number, it is unfolding into a destiny. Hold fast to the signs, for they are heaven's fingerprints on your journey, and they will carry you through until the fullness of the promise is revealed. Chosen one, the hour of waiting has come to an end. The decree has gone forth, the seals have been broken, and what was long delayed is now rushing into your life. This is not only provision, it is restoration. This is not only blessing, it is vindication. Every season of silence, every night of unanswered prayers, every moment when you felt forgotten, all of them were the preparation for this unveiling. The Lord has accelerated what once seemed distant. What was meant to arrive years from now has been pulled into this very moment, because your cry reached his throne, and heaven could wait no longer. You stand now at the threshold of glory, and nothing can hold it back. The deposit you received was the first trumpet, but the fullness is yet to come. The inheritance you thought was lost has been restored. The reputation that was smeared has been cleansed. The doors that were shut have been forced open by the hand of God. What the enemy used for harm has been transformed into a testimony of victory. You will not only taste abundance, you will walk in a season of generational blessing. This is the kind of restoration that does not just meet your needs, it establishes your legacy. For it is written, "After you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you." 1 Peter 5:10. Chosen one, you are stepping into a future brighter than you imagined. Your pain has become prophecy, your tears have become testimony, and your endurance has become the proof that you can be trusted with glory. The wealth released into your life is not the destination. It is the announcement that your destiny is unfolding. Even creation itself seems to lean forward, waiting to witness what God will do through you. As C.S. Lewis wrote in Mere Christianity, "There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind." These words ring true for you now, for the former things are gone, and the greater things have begun. So rise with confidence. Do not look back in regret. Do not look around in fear, but look forward in faith. Heaven has said yes, and no earthly power can say no. This is your season of restoration, your hour of vindication, your moment of glory. The verdict has been announced. You are chosen, you are established, and you are victorious. If this message has stirred your heart, I invite you to like this video, share it with others who need encouragement, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, what part of this prophetic word resonated most deeply with you? Together, let us declare the goodness of God and stand as witnesses of his restoration.